Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of this great nation. My name is Michael Fontanella, Mike Porcelli here. RB1, healthy scratch for Turkey Bowl 2015. It was a fun week last week. Let's start with some rapid fire.
I'm on fire! All right, you're not on fire! I knew it, you're lying! I'm fired!
Balls starting Sam Bradford. I would have went with Blake Bortles, but it didn't matter. He still put up 16. Solid move font. Shady, 19 points. Workhorse back Antonio Andrews, 12. Julio and Odell can never go wrong. Gronk held in check, but it doesn't matter. 105 points. This is a playoff team. I've said it many times. I would be shocked if it missed out. Font is on a good path. Long Island Pickers, who have fallen off the face of the earth, really killed by the injury bug for this playoff run. Dion Lewis is gone now, which is huge. Doug Martin shocked me this week. I think he shocked everybody. The only bright spot of his lineup was that Randall Cobb came back. Other than that, this team is trending downward. They need to come up with something before it's too late. Hit the panic button if you are Connor James Gordon. Cam had his best game of the year. Ryan Matthews, great start. I almost started him in FanDuel. I did not. That was my bad. Langford, everybody wanted this guy. He showed the world why. Alan Hearns continues his hot play. Great acquisition. Grolson, obviously. Antonio Brown, 17 catches, 284 yards. Steelers record. Game of his life. There are scrubs in the NFL who only dream to have those stats as a season. Mark is alive. I'm skeptical that he can run the table. We will see. On to TCP, who's straight up choking right now. TCP's choking. I wrote that in the weekly. They were in a good spot. They are choking right now. But they put up 131 points. I mean, the schedule takes another victim. Devonta Freeman. I'm not even going to talk about this guy anymore. He's so good. Dez. Miracle catch at the end. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Crabtree playing the best stretch of ball in his life. Special teams D was great, but you know what? Even though Jordan Matthews on the bench, still wouldn't have mattered. Nothing would have mattered. Hopefully 911 can arrive before they die.
Cutler came up clutch on Monday night, as well as Alshon and Bennett. What a trio those three were on Monday. AP had a solid game. Chris Thompson, Porch started the wrong back, no big deal. Should have started Carlos Williams. Couldn't see the Shady McCoy injury coming, not a big issue. Martavis Bryant has seemed to cool off the last few weeks. Still put up 10 points. Moving over to Twan Squad. You had a great week. I mean, by your standards, you put up 40 last week, you put up 110 this week. This is a good week for you. Just tough break. Ivory had 23 rushes for 26 yards and had a bullshit touchdown. You didn't know why he's not on my team anymore. McFadden had a solid game. Sanders is coming to life. Harry Douglas had 10 points. Will Ty, who is Will Ty? I actually don't even know who that is. TJ Yeldon had a solid game. Jets D had a solid game. Started Johnny Football, interesting enough, over Peyton Manning. Wouldn't have made a difference. Johnny Football still put up respected numbers. This absolute heartbreaker. I would not still be alive today if I was Twan Squad and I endured this loss. Really, he must be a tough mental guy to continue on with life after this loss.
Andrew Luck and DeMarco, Allen Robinson, those are the guys who played for Jay. Those are the big-time players that played for Jay. Everyone else everyone else on this roster has turned their back on Fish. They do not deserve to have a classy owner like Fish leading them. Now Andrew Luck is out with a pretty lacerated every organ in his body because he's a frail bitch. Andrew Luck should not be starting in this league. That is where Jay went wrong. I just feel so bad for Jay. I gotta talk about another team. Talk about the real young gun. Drew Brees has been carrying Zach Didino over the past few weeks, and it is creating a trickle-down effect for his roster, especially toward Brandon Cooks. The combo has finally shown up. Best possible time for Zach. Starks, the back to own in Green Bay. Eric Decker proves me wrong once again. Eric Decker is solid. Other than that, pretty pedestrian. This is what Zach is capable of when they are playing on all cylinders.
It was a nice week by Tyrod Taylor, off week by Stewart. Jeremy Hill no longer on the team because he's Jeremy Hill. AJ Green has just been very pedestrian lately. Edelman is solid in a week in and week out. Delaney Walker, great play. Jarvis Landry no longer on the team, but put up some great production numbers for him in the last couple weeks. Moving over to Mama's team, D'Angelo Williams is going to be top 5 back the rest of the year, undoubtedly. Eddie Lacy, who Mamba was trying to find lightning in a bottle, put up -1 point. Mike Evans put up 17 with a bunch of drops. Marvin Jones, good to see Marvin Jones produce for you. Jordan Reed is solid, and Amari Cooper put up 18 points. I think this team is still in it. This team still has life moving forward. Tough week for Team OJ. Douchebag A and B versus Douchebag C. I'm talking about Magic Man El Diablo versus Dennis Hassett. Battle of the Tools. Tom Brady had a solid game. Mark Ingram is the worst running back ever. Danny Woodhead had 20 points. How does he keep doing it? Demarius Thomas, a week away from his mom getting released from prison, puts up 7.5. Devontae Adams came to life. Finally put up 15 points. Vernon Davis, great start. MMED put up a whopping 0 points. Shane Vereen put up 12 points. I like him at the most out of all the Giant running backs. Packers D put up -3. Nice. Caleb Sturgis put up 11. Moving over to Derp Squad, Ronnie Hillman put up 0.1 points. Lamar Miller put up 30 points. He has been an absolute beast this year. Ben Roethlisberger hurt again. Still put up respectable 20. Marshall had a nice touchdown at the end. Robert Woods put up a goose egg. Was working with Vernon Davis at BCAF on Sunday. Eifert had a 6 solid Thursday night matchup, 26 points. Ben Watson starting 2 tight ends. Interesting. Ben Watson put up 9 points. Ramsey put up 5. Robbie Gould had 0 points. I hate both of these teams. If I could like one of these teams, I would choose none of the above. But if I had to pick one, I would pick Derp Sauce clearly. Aaron Rodgers had an Aaron Rodgers game, putting up 33. Gurley, you can pencil him in for at least 15 every week. Kendall Gaskins, starter for sports, question mark. James Jones has been very quiet recently. Sammy Watkins, nice play, nice plug-in for Team Jacobs. Heath Miller didn't do much. Rashard Matthews has seemed to cool off. Moving over to Coach Jim, just when you think this guy can almost clinch a playoff spot and really put himself ahead of the pack, he chokes. Rivers had a decent game. Gore had a decent game. Gio had a Gio game. He's gonna only put up 10 on a good week because he's on a timeshare with Jeremy Hill. Randall had a solid week. Dwayne Harris, I actually like Dwayne Harris. I started him a lot in FanDuel. He only put up 0.6 points. It was kind of a hit or miss play, and he missed. Gary Barnidge has been not the same without McCown out. Stephon Diggs had a very pedestrian game. I don't see that continuing next week. Coach Jim still one of the top few teams in the league. You got to keep in mind DeAndre Hopkins was on bye last week, and as well as Charkandrick West. Moving forward, I like this team. Team Jacobs still in the hunt.
Stop, drop, and roll! You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby! I'm on fire!
Week 10. We are entering double digits, gentlemen. Double digits. Some teams are playing meaningless football.
Check.
Some teams are trying to get in. The illustrious 7 playoff spots. This time is the time to rant around the league. I first would like to say something.
Sure, Michael. Go
I
ahead.
noticed something last week that I am tired of.
What is
and
that?
what a shock it involves MMED.
Really?
MMED.
Really?
Who would have thought? MMED.
Really?
I am sick and tired of looking at the group to see these two cry about every single touchdown scored against them. You're the only team in this fucking league that gets scored touchdowns on.
Every time somebody scores a touchdown against them,
It fucking
they're like, good win, good win, we lost.
It's not even mind games anymore. It's not even.
It just shows
like,
lack of character.
No, these two.
It does, though. Continue your rant, Michael. Thank you.
I mean, this is just these two guys.
They're assholes.
They're not owners. They're not. They are not. They are not respectable owners. They are not charitable owners. They are not classy owners.
They're not Yahoo owners. They are not owners.
They wish they were Yahoo owners. Anything on your mind, Rant Master?
Well, there's always some stuff on my mind. It's actually been a quiet week.
It has been a quiet week.
It has, right? And I'm looking to spice things up a
Not
little
as
bit.
not as quiet as when we had Mamba on. That was a quiet week.
Talk about quiet.
But something
your
did happen.
co-host was a cricket that week. But
got a couple-
continue.
The trade deadline. The trade deadline. That is the big news. We saw a couple of interesting deals flying around. Mark Hamill made a lot of solid deals that helped his 159 performance come alive. But I think from that last hour, from 11 to 12, we expected a lot of deals to happen. Nobody was chirping in the group.
Well,
There was one trade that was made. What were you about to say?
I was just going to say, it's not surprising who was making the moves. Clearly, Mike Didino was the ringleader, as he was reaching out to every single organization and their mother.
Yes, I had
pretty much reaching out to everyone's second cousins to try to get in touch with us. He was all over the place.
the amount of offers I got for Alshon Jeffrey in the last 2 weeks alone is sickening. Absolutely sickening.
Oh.
Alshon is going nowhere.
Alshon's doing great these days. But moving up to the trade later on, what were you saying? The last trade of the
There
hour?
was the last minute trade that we saw. What a shock! Dylan Sports Jacobs. This was bullied. 100% bullied into this trade. I do not agree.
I don't want to talk about it.
Sending Chris Johnson, who is one of the most rushing yards in the league,
He gets 100 yards a game.
for Matt Jones, the definition of one game wonder, and Jeremy Hill, locker room cancer.
And the
Jeremy
thing
Hill.
is, like, this is not a move that sports would make, because sports thinks these moves out
This is
usually.
not a good move.
Like, he probably thought Matt Jones thought ew, and then he got bullied into accept. Well, listen, I don't want to make any speculation. We know Mike Didino from time to time can be a little bit of a...
Curmudgeon.
Dylan Jacobs, if you think that move was right for your team, congratulations, you were wrong. Mike Didino, way to capitalize on an idiot, I guess.
That was
Makes first of all, Mike Didino, how much has he talked shit about Jeremy Hill? So, in my opinion, Mike was going to give away Jeremy Hill, and instead of just giving him away for a wide receiver or a decent running back, he gave it away for Chris Johnson, who is more than respected RB2.
Sports has made a couple of quality moves this year. This was by far the worst. I would not be surprised if it turned the tide of his season. This isn't a segment per se, but it's something that I thought was a little interesting, and we will allow the league to have their voices heard as well after this week is uploaded. There are 4 3-6 teams in the league, not mathematically out, so we're contractually obligated to talk about them. Those 3-6 teams are you saying, pal, the White Mamba, Tuan Squad, Team Fish. Mr. Fontanella and I will have a debate on which out of the 4 teams do we think has the best chance to run the table and make the playoffs. Font begin, because the group is chirping right now.
It's pretty simple. This is not even a question. It's Dan Coster. Dan Coster, all of a sudden, his pieces seem to be falling up together. He actually has just acquired a winner in Blake Bortles. He is playing me this week, so it's going to be a pretty bitter loss for me this week as the White Mamba continues his pursuit to run the table. To me, I look at the other teams. Mark Hamilhar is a great owner. Twan Squad is a great Jet fan, and Team Fish is plays baseball for college. Yeah, I don't have much to say about the other teams. Is what I'm trying to say. I think if it comes down to 2 guys, it's Mamba and Camel, just because when they make their lineup moves, they are definitely not intoxicated.
Yes. It may at 3-6.
What about you, Porch?
At 3-6, Twan and Fish may not exactly be out of it yet, but they score 2 little points and they have this many losses, there's no chance. Unless a miracle, those two will not. Even if those two do run the table, they will not score enough points to make the playoffs. My pick to run the table, if they can run the table, is Mark Hamilhar. Mark Hamilhar is light years ahead of the White Mamba in terms of class as an owner. I think we can all agree on that. The moves he made before the deadline just prove it. They just prove
And
it.
how about last week? Desperately needed a win, puts up 160 in his sleep.
Mark
Desperately needs a
Hamilhar,
win, puts up 160.
Mark
Think about that.
Hamilhar does not know a world that doesn't involve the playoffs. He has never been about that life. He's never been about that life.
And he doesn't want to be about that life. And I actually think there could be a chance he doesn't become part of that life this year. I think he could possibly make a push. We'll see.
Yes, we will see.
He's a better team than MMED and some other teams like Jacobs. Let's be honest. The schedule has killed a few people. Some bad plugins have killed a few people. Unfortunately, it's only by record who makes the playoffs.
Yes, and I would have liked the tiebreaker to have been, win and loss again. Say you're tied with someone you beat, you should get in over them.
What's it by points score?
It's by points scored. I personally have always wanted it to be, say you're tied with somebody. I think it should go to the guy who won the matchup. That's just me. That's how it works in real life. But whatever. We want you guys, your voices to be heard. I will put a poll up asking the same question. It'll be interesting to see how you guys vote.
MMED, feel free to exclude yourself from the participation.
As always, matchups to preview. Bring up
The board.
the board.
We have TCP versus Team Juice. Team Juice needs a W. I see Team Juice squeezing out a W this week. TCP will fall again unless Devonta Freeman puts up another monster game, which he hasn't done in a few weeks. We will see. Team Juice wins. White Mamba versus Team Fontanella. I don't like to count myself out. I think Mamba's on a roll right now. It's going to be a really tight matchup. I think Mamba might squeak it out. We'll see. Are you saying Powell versus Team Jacobs? Jacobs will lose to a hungry Are You Saying Powell. He looks to make the playoff push. Long Island Pickers versus Twan Squad. Not many people are interested in this matchup. I think Twan Squad will win. His Jets will perform on Thursday night, and we will continue to have a very average amount of teams in the league. We'll have a lot of 500 teams in the league. Pickers will 4-4-6. Fall to 4-6. Coach Jim versus MMED. I think Coach Jim will obviously blow them out of the water this week. MMED falls to 4-6. Derp Sauce versus Team Fish. Derp Sauce is just you can't overcome talent. Derp Sauce clearly has so much more talent than Team Fish's squad, especially with Andrew Luck out for the remainder of the fantasy season. I like Dennis Hassett this week. Porch, how about you?
TCP, Team Juice. I think TCP gets off the schneid. I really do. White Mamba, Team Fontanella. White Mamba is playing meaningless football. Team Fontanella does not want to do it. The alliance is strong. He will cut the cord of that alliance as well as cut the throat of the White Mamba. Mark Camel versus Team Jacobs. Camel is hungrier. Camel will win this game. Pickers versus Twan. Two teams that have fallen from grace. This is a toss-up. This is a toss-up to me. I'm going to go with Twan. Coach Jim versus MMED. Coach Jim gets the win. Derp, Fish. The second Derp saw that this was going to be upset of the week. He declared Fish the winner. Derp's freaking out. Don't freak out, Derp. You will win this game. You will be at 7-3. Fish, sorry, bro. You're playing meaningless football.
The sports writers' game of the week choice this week is going to be New England Porches taking on Real Young Gun. First of all, Real Young Gun is projected to win this week by about 10, give or take. I personally feel that Real Young Gun will win this week. I'm sorry, Porch. I like your team. I just think you think Carlos Williams is going to be more of a factor than he will be.
I have no choice.
Drew Brees is going to be solid again. James Starks is the starter now. Marshawn Lynch back from a bye and fresh. Macklin back healthy. Charles Clay? No Gronkowski in that spot anymore. Eric Decker scores a touchdown every game, it seems. This is going to be a big Thursday night matchup for Zach, I actually just realized. Moving over to Porch's side, Alshon Jeffrey is questionable. If he plays, he's going to be a solid start. Stay tuned for that. If Jeffrey doesn't play, I actually don't even give Porch a chance to win.
No.
So if Jeffrey doesn't play, it's a win for
Jeffrey doesn't lose, I get curb stomped.
Okay, as long as we both agree
Oh,
with that.
absolutely.
All right, Porch, what about you? What do you like? What do you think about this week's matchup?
I believe in my squad more than any
Shocker.
other owner in this league believes in my squad.
Really?
Absolutely. 100%. Jay Cutler almost won the starting job this week. He was that close. Didn't do it. Russell Wilson is our boy. He leads us in prayer. He will lead us to the ball field. Alshon Jeffrey is frail as fuck. Alshon Jeffrey is extremely frail. He wasn't limping in the locker room. I think he's going to play personally. Carlos Williams, I mean, I have no other choice. Who am I going to start? Chris Thompson? No. No one wanted to deal
You're
low.
better off starting an
I
RB2 empty.
tried to make so many low-key deals. Like, I didn't ask for a big player in return. I didn't offer a big player. Little players, you can get a little bit of depth. I can get a RB2. Nobody wanted to deal.
All right,
Whatever.
You never rang my line. I got backs
Your
up the.
line?
I have backs up the wazoo.
You have nothing that I can offer, man.
All right. Real Young Gun will win this week. Curb stomped. Porch will be curb stomped if Alshon Jeffrey does not play.
Power rankings shaken up again. Let's see where everybody in this league is at.
Feel the power!
Well, everybody, that just about does it. We are that close to signing off. But 2 weeks from now, there will be a certain event taking place at, well, what's the name of that old stomping ground? Gunther?
Gunther.
Gunther?
You don't have any idea how many liters of blood I've lost on that field. How much flesh is still on that field.
Bones have literally been broken on that field. Big Puma Kirch broke Jay's leg, I think, years ago. I remember that game. He wrapped around him like a snake and snapped his leg in half.
Puma could tackle. He needed to.
Puma.
I feel like Jay dragged Puma for like 20 yards.
In my experience, Puma is so slippery. I swear to God, he's so
he's always trying to look fresh.
He oils himself up before the game. I swear to God. But we have to rant about Turkey, Mr. Fontanella.
I have been on line 1, 2, and 3 trying to make arrangements for me to find another way up to Albany for Thanksgiving dinner with my family, which is a tradition. My whole family goes up to Albany. So I actually have just found out that I have been given the green light by my elders that I can show up a little later. I'm gonna take the car up after. I'm gonna actually spend extra gas money just so I could come up a little later. I cannot wait to be part of this feast. Like I said, I actually went to a couple different hospitals today, just giving them a heads up that on this day, I know it's going to be a quiet day, but on this day, you may get a call around this time, this kind of injury, gouged eyeballs, broken collarbones.
There are targets, multiple targets.
Ruptured spleens. There's going to be... I'm sorry, Porch. I just get excited talking about it.
No.
Porch, your assignment is going to be to try to break free from me. I don't know about you, but I don't know if you still got the burner speed that you used to have. All I know is I've gotten a little fleeter of foot over my years since our last hoo-ha at the GFL Battlegrounds. I actually have gained about 15 pounds of muscle to bulk up because I'm going to be our RB1, going to be leaned on heavily, going to be the Garrett Blunt, Antonio Andrews of the group per se. I cannot wait to carry the ball. Ball protection is key. I will not fumble. I'm looking to absolutely truck anybody that comes in my way. I have been training So Dennis Hassett, you might want to wear some eye protection because I'm about to gouge your fucking eyes out.
Yeah, See, I don't. People make jokes about like.
But I'm not kidding. It's not.
No, not about that. About people taking shots at me. I don't take shots seriously from players that I know I'm light years better than.
Woo!
It seems like it's the same.
Are you saying that you are
couple?
Are you saying that you are Buzz Lightyears better than Ben Hoffman?
There's a reason.
Yes or no?
There is
Yes
a
or no?
reason Ben Hoffman is playing quarterback.
Woo!
There's a reason Ben Hoffman is playing quarterback.
And we'll wrap it up just like that.
No, we are not done.
Alrighty.
No, we are not done. No, yes, we are. Yes, we are done. We are done. What's up, everybody? I know this is probably coming on after the little song and logo thing, but it's not over. There's just one thing I gotta say that everyone needs to hear. You obviously notice I'm wearing Week 10 clothes. This will either be in the Week 10 video or at some point in the future, but I just gotta let it be known. Years ago, when Mike Didino brought me into this league, I was skeptical about joining because the only things I knew about football were that I liked the Patriots, I liked Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning and Adrian Peterson were really good. That was pretty much the most I know about football. And now today, obviously, that is no longer the case. Fantasy football in this league has done so much for my life, but I think I have to announce right now that this... fuck! I'd like to formally announce my extended leave of absence from this league for the foreseeable future at the end of this season, regardless of how it finishes. It's not something that has just popped up. It is something that has been on my mind the past couple of years. And an extended leave of absence could turn into a permanent leave of absence, considering how hard it is to get a spot in this league. And knowing the commish, once you're out, you're out. Now, if you still want me to do these videos, write weeklies, it's no problem of mine, I'll do it. But I am not a player in this league. If there's a chance I could work with this league in some capacity, for free, I might add, that's fine. I could be a former owner analyst or something, I don't know. Fact of the matter is that that's just what the reality is. You can't do this forever. Can't do this forever. Will I be back? I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is Porch. Signing off.